Hello, Mr. Barry's geometry class. I'm taking a look at this Unit 9, Homework 1, Reflections, and let's get started. You're going to have to really listen. If you can't make out, it's kind of hard to see, when you're doing this on this paper, it's kind of hard to see, but hopefully, by me talking to you about it, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So we're going to put on here a square BCDE with these coordinates, and you see that I've done that over here, and I've drawn the square. And then we are going to reflect across the y-axis, or there's a reflection in the y-axis. So here's the y-axis, so everything is just reflected on this side. Okay, so here's my C reflected, my B reflected, my E reflected, my D, in case you couldn't read those. And then you're asked to give the coordinates for those points, the vertices, and there you have those points for B, C, D, and E. So basically that's it. For the trapezoid, JKLM with these points for their vertices, you see that I have that up here, and we're going to reflect in the line y equals 1. So I drew a dotted line. You'll see it at y equals 1. So I drew a y equals 1 to kind of go off of to see where to put my reflection. And so my reflection is down here with J, K, L, and M. And all you're going to do in order to reflect that across whatever, line that you're being asked to reflect is, see how far J is away from that line. Then go that far away this way on your reflection. Your M, how far M is. And then go that far away this way. And so on. Just do that for each one. These are the points where they end up at J, K, L, M in the reflection. For number 5, notice that I drew a line at y equals, this is going to be a mistake. I'm going to have to make a correction, and I'll do that in red. I see that I made my y at 3. I'm just noticing now that it should be at -3. So -3, where x equals -3, 1, 2, 3, that's right here. So let me make this so you're going to see this one in action. Sometimes that's helpful, so I am not complaining at all about that. So my new P is going to be right here, and I'm going to mark that P1. And then my Q, notice from x equals -3, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away and put a point there. And this is my Q1. And then my R is down here, and it is from this line 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it should be right here. And this is my new R. And I just draw it as neatly as possible. I went from the wrong point. It's hard to see through this phone. There we go. Never mind this line here. Don't worry about that line. So my new point for P is actually -1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 3. So it should be -4, 3. We don't want these. And Q is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, -8, -8, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. My R, the original's here. The new reflection across y equals -3 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So -7 and -1. -1 stays the same, but I'm going to do it in red anyways. So there's my new coordinates. P is -4, 3, Q is -8, 4, and R is -7, -1. Okay. All right, got C1 in action now. I did make another mistake that I caught earlier. I'll show you, and I did that one in red also. Okay, so you got to describe what happened here with your KFVJ. Notice that it's flipped, and you notice that it is flipped. It seems to be all flipped across this line right here, which is y equals 2. So we have a reflection across y equals 2. So I just have quadrilateral KFVJ, reflection across y equals 2. Notice what happened here where the reflection is. This reflection is just across the x-axis. So notice R ends up here now, your G ends up here, all across the x-axis. So quadrilateral AGRW, reflection across x-axis. And then for number 11, notice this one's across the y-axis. I have my P here, one away from the y-axis, and now my P is over here, and so on and so forth with quadrilateral AHUP. It's a reflection across the y-axis. This homework seemed a lot of pages, but there's only a few on each page. So, all right, they want you to do a reflection across the x-axis. So here you'll see here's QGL, the original. Here's my Q1G1L1. So this is my new Q after it's reflected across the x-axis. Here's my new L after it's reflected across the x-axis. And here's my new G. The way I did that, I just went from the x-axis. The Q was 1 under, so a reflection is going to be 1 above. The G is 1, 2, 3, 4 over and above, and so that means it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 below. And L is 2 above. That means the reflection is going to be 2 below. For number 3, across y equals 1. So I actually drew a y equals 1. Oh, this was the one that was a mistake. Notice this is x equals 1, and I wrote it over here. This new one that I drew over here, for some reason, when I first did it, I thought that was x equals 1, and I had x equals 1, and I reflected. I was like, why did they make us do one that goes off the chart? Well, they didn't. It says y equals 1, so I redrew it. Y equals 1 would be right here, and so this point is reflected here, this point is reflected here, your T. This was like an I believe. And then your Y is reflected here. So I have my I1, T1, and Y1, the reflection, in red. And then you had to draw the first one, so I drew that one, the TCZF, and then a reflection across the x-axis. So F was touching the x-axis, so F, my reflection, is touching the x-axis too. My T is 2 away from the x-axis, so it's 2 away this way in the reflective, and so on for your C and your Z. Okay. For number 7 and 9, we had to draw those, so I just have those points and then do a reflection across the x-axis and a reflection across x equals 3. So I used Mr. Berry's extra paper, and number 7 is here. My original KNQ is here, reflection across the x-axis. N is touching, so N's touching on this side too. K is 1 away, so K is 1 away this way. And Q is 4 away, so it is 4 away this way. So this one is the reflection, and I can trace that in red. Might be better. And then number 9, x equals 3, so x equals 3 is right here, and it looks like the F, no, that's not F, what is that? That would be the K, yeah, 3, 2. So the K is right here. This is my K and my K1. Here's the F's. They're kind of, this is really tight, really hard to see. And then here's my W's reflected across this X equals 3. Okay? So this is K, this is F. This is W in the reflection. So this is the reflected one. Cover it in red. All right, so that's 7 and 9. 11 and 13. Write a rule to describe each transformation. So, from this triangle to this triangle, what happened? Well, it looks like there was a reflection across this right here, which happens to be Y, or actually, that's an X. Should have put X. That should be an X. X equals -2. I have the -2 for some reason. Had a Y there, but yeah, X equals -2. It's a reflection across X equals -2. Triangle KIH, reflection across X equals 2. What happened here? I have triangle NXZ. So NXZ, and it's across this axis right here where it is, I did it again, X equals -2. I wrote Y instead. Good thing I'm going over this. Must have been in a hurry this morning. X equals -2. Okay, so that's your 13. Try the even ones on your own. Go ahead and make mistakes, correct them, learn from your mistakes, and that's the learning progress, the process right there. And you're making progress. Good luck.